morning, everyone. This is an exclusive interview with President, CEO of Metro, Mr. Thomas Lambert. How are you doing today, sir?
Dr. Lamb, doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe something unique. Maybe folks don't know about you.
You know, what's unique about me is I'm a native Houstonian, and I've had the opportunity to really start at Metro when it was first created.
Oh, wow.
So I actually started in 1979, so I'm in my 43rd year.
Holy smokes.
But the great opportunity is, as a native Houstonian, I've had the opportunity to see this organization really grow and flourish to serve this community. So I'm very proud of that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your strategic plan in terms of safety on rail, on the metro line, at the bus stations. You know, safety is a top priority for everyone. So tell us your strategic plan in regards to safety for all passengers.
Well, safety is the number one priority at Metro. Everything we're about, everything we do is to make sure we're focusing on safety. So if you really look at it from across the system, and I'll talk about rail and park and rides and local bus and all of that, it really has a fundamental belief that everything we do, we ought to be focusing on safety. So if you look at the Metro Police Department as an example, we've actually, through the efforts of the Metro Board of Directors, have really grown that department to get more resources to really focus on the things they need to do, and working with the Houston Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, constables, to really leverage a regional partnership so the law enforcement community works together. But we've gone further than that. If you look at the rail platforms, we have emergency call buttons. On every rail platform, if you have an emergency, you can go to that call button and it'll get you direct connection to the dispatchers for the police at Transtar. We've looked at a Metro Police Connect app. So if you've got your mobile phone, you go to your mobile phone, connect to an app, and you can actually talk to a police dispatcher at Transtar while you're on the system and the folks don't know you're doing this, like a personal chat. So anything that you're concerned about, if it's an emergency, we want everybody to call 911.
Okay.
And we'll get the right approach out there. But if it's something you feel comfortable, you can communicate, you can go to that Police Connect app, and you really talk to that dispatcher and let them know what's going on, and they can get the right assistance to you. We've also made sure that that's in Spanish today as well. And I want to, before I go too far, I want to thank the LULAC leadership. We've been working with leaders at LULAC to really make sure that we're focusing on everything we can focus on to make that customer experience better. And so that's part of what we've done. You know, we've really stepped up in cleaning the system. We spend more money today during the pandemic, but it's something we'll continue to do to make sure a customer has a very positive experience when they're using the system. It's very safe, it's reliable, it's clean, it's economical, and those are the things we want to continue to focus on. So all of those things we try to work together to make the system safer for everybody to use it.
Thank you very much. And that just spurs the next question. First of all, the use of apps on the Metro line. Do the Metro buses have Wi-Fi, or does everyone has the ability to use Wi-Fi inside a Metro bus?
Every local Metro bus has Wi-Fi, so we make that as a customer convenience. All of our Metrolift vehicles for our paratransit customers have Wi-Fi capability. We're still working for rail to have full Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It's a little more challenging to feature that on the rail system, but all the local buses, all the commuter buses, Metrolift services all have Wi-Fi, and we want to encourage our customers to use it. While you're on that system and we're driving you to your destination, take that free time to use the Wi-Fi to read, to do what you need to do to make that experience better for you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm sure our listeners and our readers want to know about that.
Good.
The other thing is, what are some of the safety procedures for folks whose native language is not English? For them to be aware of all these wonderful features that we have here at Metro.
Well, we want to make sure that we are as representative of the community we can be, and there's still work we have to do with that.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. But we do have bilingual officers, bilingual fare inspectors, bilingual bus operators, bilingual mail customer service staff. We have an incentive program that anybody's bilingual, that we do pay them more for that service. We expect to actually grow that pay this year. The board approved more funding in our budget to really recognize and reward the abilities of folks that can talk in multiple languages, whether it's Spanish or sign language.
Oh, yeah.
We want to make sure that we can communicate with all of our customers. So having staff that has that capability is extremely important to us. We also have the opportunity to go out with bilingual services. If for some reason we don't have that capability, we do have contracts that we can reach out to translation companies that will help us do that as well. But the fundamental issue is making sure as best we can we are representative of the community we serve, and that's very important to make sure we have second language opportunities as well.
Absolutely, thank you. That brings up the next question. What has been Metro's strategic plan in terms of the equitable representation in terms of employment as the demographics has changed? What some of the outreach programs in order to employ more folks that are reflective of the demographics?
Well, I mentioned the incentive program. That's an important thing. So we want to make sure our employees will refer other employees that may have bilingual capability. So we do have a referral bonus for employees that are referring employees to us. But I want to use this as a plug. We're hiring. We now have an incentive program for bus operators, a $4,000 hiring bonus if you're a bus operator and want to come to work with you, and we'll train you to be a bus operator. $8,000 incentive bonus to be a mechanic, and we'll continue to work with you to get certifications on all that. But we spend a lot of time, and there's more effort we'll be doing. But working with high schools, can we get students that have a desire to get in the transportation industry early? So the more we can outreach with universities, the more we can outreach with high schools, the more we can make that hiring process easier. We think that's the better way for us to attract more people. So we've got 2 task forces underway at Metro, led by our Human Resources Department. The first one is a hiring task force.
Okay.
We know in today's market, it is an employee's market. So if you're a great organization, which Metro is, the sooner we can attract people to come to work for us, the better we're going to be. So we're really trying to make sure we're streamlining our hiring process. By the time you start to the time you hired, we want to make it as easy as we can. But we also want to make sure the tools are available. Instead of just relying on folks having to go online to apply, we've got paper applications. Some of this we're going back to basics. Can we make it easier for people to apply? Looking at educational opportunities, can we streamline that process that maybe if you don't have a high school diploma today, we can work with you to get a high school diploma tomorrow?
Absolutely.
It's really looking at how do we value engaging people in our community to come to work here. So I think everything's on the table, and so the hiring task force is looking at that. It's also extremely important to us that we keep people that are in this organization. So a retention task force.
Right.
How do we make sure we're looking at valuing those employees? How do we make sure that we celebrate, we recognize, and keep them engaged? And so increasing bilingual pay, giving them an opportunity for educational tuition reimbursement, supporting them on really looking at career opportunities. It's those things we're looking at to keep people at the organization as well.
Wonderful. I think the partnership with the high school is and most students that graduate from high schools pursue careers, and it sounds like Metro has wonderful career opportunities.
We have great career opportunities, but I think we've got to get them early. We know that when an individual comes to work at Metro, if we can keep them here for 3 years, we can keep them here for 30 years. So we want to make sure that we celebrate the opportunity to help people grow as a career. It's not a job. It's a career.
Wonderful.
And with the organization as large as we are, the different paths that a person can take here, I'll use myself as an example. I started as a security investigator.
Oh, wow.
I'm now the CEO at Metro.
And president.
Did I dream that back in 1979? No. But the opportunity presented itself. People had a trust that I could deliver. Well, we think there are many, many people in this 4,000 member organization that could do the same thing. Our job is to make sure we celebrate them and we set them up for success, and that's what we're trying to do.
Wonderful organization for career advancement. If the folks have the skills, and there's a lot of support systems here. And recently I just read on the workforce survey that diesel mechanics are in high demand. I believe you guys offer some incentives.
We $8,000 hiring bonus for mechanics. Anybody that wants to be a mechanic, we want to embrace them coming in this organization.
Start all over here.
If I had the skill sets, I think, unfortunately I don't, so I'll say that. But no, and Metro is a great organization.
Yes, sir.
And the services we deliver every day improve the quality of life for people in this community.
Yes, sir.
And so it's more than a job.
Yes.
It's a passion. And so I'm excited just to be a part of this organization.
Well, you know, you've just been talking about the bread and butter of everyday issues dealing with Metro. So what are the future? What is your future? What is your vision for Metro 5 or 10 years from now?
Well, a couple of things. One, I always want to credit the employees. You know, we've been through a pandemic the last couple of years.
Yes.
This organization, the employees in this organization have continued to provide essential services. Even during the worst of the pandemic, we were carrying over 100,000 riders a day. That's now up to about 175,000 riders a day. So we recognize the importance of this service. So I want to give great credit to all the employees in this organization that have adapted, have been flexible to continue under very constant changing conditions. We've continued to provide an essential service to this community. But back in November of 2019, the voters in the Metro service area by almost 70% approved the Metro Next Moving Forward plan. 500 miles of travel improvements to better provide multimodal opportunities for people to move in this fast-growing region. So we're excited about moving that forward with the jobs program that Congress passed. President Biden has now signed into law. We see some opportunities with additional funding that we're going to be very aggressive in working with our congressional delegation to get more funding for this region to accelerate the implementation of the Metro Next Moving Forward plan. So we're excited about that opportunity. We're moving very aggressively already with our universal accessibility program, improving all 9,000 Metro bus stops. So no matter your condition, we know that every trip starts with someone walking or rolling. So it's got to be that those stops have to be ease of access for everybody.
Yes.
So we've already got 2,400 out of 9,000 that have already been improved, a very aggressive program. We're looking at taking our high-frequency bus routes and making that customer experience better. The stops have shelters out of the weather. The stops have better lighting, feel safer. The stops have digital message signs so you know when that bus is going to come, so you can pre-plan your trip and lessen the time you're waiting at the stop. Making that experience more comfortable, more safe. We call it a better walk, a better stop, a better ride. And that's what we're working on. So we're very aggressive with that now. But we're also looking at building the largest bus rapid transit project in the country that will connect Southwest Houston, connect all the universities up to Northeast Houston. 25 miles will be the largest bus rapid transit corridor project in the country. But it will connect the universities, job centers, healthcare, where people need to go on rail, highways, roads, you name it. It's a project that we give better options of how people can move in this community. So we're excited about the next opportunities. We're going to be very aggressive. And how do we make transit and the location of transit a destination where people want to go to as well? And how can they use our services to get to where they need to go, whether it's healthcare, education, entertainment, to visit family, going to church. We want to have those opportunities that people have a very positive experience in how they can use our services moving around the region.
I'm sure our readers are looking forward to hearing these wonderful things, and I really personally like the idea of the bus shelter, since we live so close to the Gulf of Mexico, as we experienced yesterday morning, the rains, the tornadoes and thunderstorms and hurricane season. You know, these folks, sometimes that's their only method of transportation. So that's wonderful. That's good news. That's music to my ears.
Good, we're glad, we're glad.
And wonderful in the future of Metro. But as we finalize here, Mr. Lambert, I want you to look over here, and would you like to say a few words to our Que Onda readers, just what you're feeling right now in Espanol?
I'm not going to say it in Espanol, but I would say, I want to thank you, Dr. Lira. I want to thank the magazine, and I want to thank the community. When we were looking at building the Metro Next plan, we went to the community. We didn't tell the community what we should build. We asked the community what we should build. We asked the community to tell us, what should the Metro Next plan look like? The community told us, we responded, and I think it's really representative of almost 70% of the voters in the Metro region in 2019 approved the Metro Next plan that gave us bonding authority for $3.5 billion, the look opportunity of $3.5 billion in federal grants, $500 million of local money to give people in this fast-growing region, 7 million people today, 10.4 million people by 2040, options of how they wanted to move in this region, where they don't have to rely on a car. If they want to, they can, but where they don't have to rely on it, a travel option of recognizing that every trip starts with someone walking or rolling, and then you look at the appreciation of making sure that customer experience is better. So I want to thank the community. I want to thank you for coming to meet with us and giving us an opportunity to tell this story, and we're glad to have you here.
Well, on behalf of Onda, we want to thank you for your time and your wonderful service to our city. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Dr. Lambert.